I put a video out yesterday. Unfortunately, some people have grossly misunderstood the message in it. So one person objected, saying, when did the Salaf ask you to blind follow? Well, nobody should be asking you to blind follow anything. The books of the Madhab, certainly when you go beyond the level of the Mutun, the very basic texts are filled with evidence. And you should study that evidence and you should know it. So nobody's calling for blind following. You should know the evidence. The whole point is, whose interpretation of the evidence are you going to follow? One of the scholars from the Salaf or a contemporary scholar? Secondly, the person said, if you don't know what's closest to the Sunnah, then you should ask a sheikh. That is exactly what I'm objecting to. Why would you ask a contemporary sheikh over one of the Imams of Ahl Sunnah? Thirdly, the person said, you try to find out which opinion is closest to the Sunnah. Well, according to whose understanding? Abu Hanifa's understanding of the Sunnah is that such and such thing represents the Sunnah most correctly. Somebody else's opinion may be, well, such and such an opinion represents the Sunnah most closely. I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding here. People don't understand that the Sunnah and the Quran is often open to interpretation. When it's open to interpretation, different scholars will look at it differently. Somebody will say, well, this is closest to the Sunnah, or this is closest to the Sunnah. My opinion is closest to the Sunnah because of this. My opinion is closest to the Sunnah because of this. That's the whole point here. The entire point is, when somebody says to you, this is closest to the Sunnah, and somebody else says, no, this is closest to the Sunnah, whose opinion are you going to take? Whose understanding of the Sunnah are you going to prefer? One of the greatest Imams of Ahl Sunnah, or a contemporary Shaykh who's relatively unknown compared to the Imam?